In this video, we're going to see how we can add the kitchen counter here. Right now, we can't see the kitchen counter because we have this flow slab on top of our image. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide the flow for the time being. So I'm going to select the flow, and I'm going to go here where it says temporary hide isolate. These glasses, the small icon with the glasses. I'm going to click on that, and when I click on that, it gives me a menu. I want to hide one element, not a category, just the element, and I don't want to isolate it. Instead, I want to hide it. So I'm going to click on hide element, and that flow is hidden right now. So when I want to bring it back again, all I need to do is click on reveal hidden elements, and then I begin to see this. I select the flow again and click on temporary hide isolate and click on reset temporary hide isolate, and again click close reveal. So then I have the plan visible the way that I want to. But right now what I'm going to do is click on this, hide the element, and that's it. So I know that I need to create this this countertop here, and our plan, the way that we drew it, because of the dimensions, it's shifted a little bit here. So we're going to draw it and then move it towards this wall. So let me start drawing it. Now this is a custom countertop, so what we need to do is we would need to create it manually. We can't bring something in here, so we're gonna have to manually create it. So in order to do that, I'm going to go into components and use this drop down menu and say model in place, and it's going to give me this family category parameters dialog box. And since I'm going to kind of do it according to the book, I'm going to use the correct category, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. You can choose whatever. But just for consistency's sake, I'm going to select casework, and I'm going to say OK, and it's going to ask me, let's rename this countertop. I'm going to say OK, and now I have, you see my entire interface changed, and it changed the family that we've seen previously. So now what we can do is we can start sketching. But before sketching, we need to understand what kind of a sketch is it going to be. So we know that a countertop has a thickness, so it needs to be an extrusion really. So I'm going to click on extrusion, and when I click on extrusion again, I get a series of tools, the sketch tools that we've seen before. So we're going to use the sketch tools to sketch out this countertop. Now before that, there are certain things that we need to change. Now here in the properties panel and the options bar, we have some parameters that we need to change. So the extrusion start, that is the height of this countertop, it's going to be 3 feet. Now there is going to be an issue because our windows start at 2 feet. I didn't really think about this beforehand, but that's okay. I'm gonna do it anyways. So we're going to have the extrusion end at 3 foot and 2 inches, and the extrusion start is going to be at 3 feet and 3 feet, and the thickness is going to be 2 inches. That's why the extrusion end is at 3 feet and 2 inches. So once that's done, I'm going to use this line tool to sketch out drawing for the countertop. Like that. Easy peasy, and there we go. And if I want to, I could even scroll in just a bit and move this just a little bit using my arrow keys. Now that looks fine to me. And once that's done, once the shape is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on finish edit mode and again finish model, otherwise it's not going to work. So that's our countertop, and I'm going to move it by using my arrow tools to the edge of the wall. And let's see how this looks like. Go here. I'm going to use my camera view, create a camera here, and there we go. Wow, it's just a little bit off, but what I'm going to do is maybe change this height. If we had it at 2 feet and 6 inches, this would probably be okay. It's exactly at the height. I thought this was at the sail height is 3 feet, so that kind of worked for the design. So we can move this just a tad if we want to. I'm gonna say edit in place, and I'm gonna select the drawing, and instead of 3 foot 2 inches, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this 2 feet and 10 inches, and then this I'm gonna make 3 feet and 0 inches, and now I think it might work. It's not cutting into the window, so that's fine, I think. And for this purpose or this exercise, that looks okay. And let's go back to our plan. So now we have our counter. The next thing that we need to do is bring in a kitchen sink here. So what we can do is we can bring something from BIM objects or Revit City. We can also bring something from our component library. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to load family, and I'm going to try and find a proper sink, kitchen sink, simple one. So I think the best one probably is this. That looks fairly large, but that's okay. Let's bring that in. And yeah, as I said, that looks pretty big, and I need to rotate it, so I'm going to use my space bar to do that, and we might have to change the way, move this out just a tad. So let's do that. Edit in place. I'm gonna select it again and edit extrusion, and I'm gonna move this just a bit like that. That's fine. 1, 2, and done. Let's see. Now this was at 2.8, at 210, and this is at the elevation is at 0 at level on level 1, so it needs to come to 3 feet. I'm gonna make it come up to 3 feet, and let's see, for some reason that disappeared. Oh, I think that's wrong. So let's do 0. What happens? Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that worked. Now what we need to do is we need to make a hole for this. Right now, if you go into 3 view again, you see there's the concrete surface is going through the kitchen counters. So what I need to do is go into level 1 and edit this and create a hole. So I'm going to say select it, edit in place, and select it again and edit extrusion, and I'm going to draw a rectangle around it. So that's it. And once I'm done, click on green again, and that should have worked. So let's see. There you go. You don't see the slab in between, so that's good. And I think that's about it for that. So we have a nice kitchen counter, and we can see how this is going to look like if you change this to realistic. Let's see, might take a bit. There we go. So we have the kitchen counter, we have the surfaces, and I think that looks fine. And in the next video, let's take a look at some of the furniture that we can add into our model.